So every year in fantasy football, you're faced with the same problem. It's draft day, pick by pick by pick, it comes up to your turn. You hear the beep, 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 and you have to make a decision. Who should I draft right now to try and help me win my fantasy football championship by the end of the season? You click the button and you realize, oh, that wasn't really the person I wanted to take. Fast forward, you don't win your fantasy football championship again. What can you do about the problem? You can watch this video all the way through and you can learn what tight ends I think that you should avoid in 2025. So number one on the list is going to be Travis Kelce. So for Travis Kelce, last year and the year before, we have started to see the steady decline in his production, his number of targets, his yards per route run, his open score, separation score, everything going into who Travis Kelce is and essentially how explosive he is just going down, and it has been consistent for the last couple of years. Travis Kelce has a lot of things going against him next year. For one, he's going to be a year older. For two, his defense is going to continue to get a little bit better. For the Chiefs, I think they spent, 3 or 4 of their first 4 or 5 picks on defense. The last couple of years, the Chiefs have only been allowing like the top 3, top 4, top 5 points per game by any defense in the NFL. It's been going on for the past 2 seasons. So they're not going to allow people to score a lot. So they're not going to have to pass the ball a lot. So like holistically from a scheme point, Travis Kelce and the Chiefs players as a whole are not really being set up to succeed. So the scheme's not in his favor. Age is not in his favor. Okay, what about the depth chart? So last year, Travis Kelce through the first 3 games couldn't even break 8 fantasy points per game on a PPR basis, which is kind of horrifying to think about, kind of how quickly he has declined. Now, why is that the case? Rashee Rice is the answer. Rashee Rice emerged, started taking those over-the-middle, quick slant routes, schemed-up touches kind of guy. That is the role that Rashee Rice filled. That's the reason why I'm pretty high on Rashee Rice this year. Also, towards the end of the season, middle of the season, I guess, Xavier Worthy started to emerge. So now you have 2 competent targets right there. You have more of a deep ball guy, an over the middle, schemed up touch guy, and then you also have the addition of Hollywood Brown, who's going to be there for another year. Travis Kelce is getting kind of phased out of this offense by younger players. Hollywood Brown was standing, I guess. But Rashee Rice really took over the Travis Kelce role last year. If Rashee Rice comes back at even 80% of who he was last year and the end of his rookie season, he is going to continue to fill that role. So if that role's filled by him, Travis Kelce kind of gets pushed more and more by the wayside. So the issue is you have all this target competition. You have a team that's not going to score as many points because they don't need to. And you have a guy who's a year older and his body clearly last year is slowing down, breaking down. He wasn't as explosive, wasn't as fast, wasn't getting as open as often. And to take a tight end at tight end number 6 who has so many negatives going for him, there's just no way that this season I can draft Travis Kelce on any of my fantasy football teams, and I would highly recommend you to do the exact same thing. So the next tight end that I will not be drafting, number 2, is going to be Jonnu Smith, who is going as tight end number 9. He's going quite a bit later in some formats than others, but he is still a tight end that I'm wanting to avoid. The reason being is that he's been in the league for 7, 8, 9 years, something like that now, and last year was his best year by a hot mile. So why do I think that Jonnu Smith is in a potential trouble spot? Well, number one, you're still taking him as a tight end 1, where last year you could have got him on the waiver wire, so you didn't even draft this guy. This coming season, I think there is going to be a little bit of a shift back to the more traditional Mike McDaniels offense, where you see a little bit more Tyreek involved, Jalen Waddle involved. I still think Devon Achane is a superior talent, so I anticipate seeing him still involved. But it would not be far-fetched for the offense to be ran around those 3 players, and for Jonnu Smith to kind of take a big backseat to people that clearly have a lot more talent than him. So you might ask yourself, well, why would he get so many targets last year? He was an easy, quick check down person, very similar to how they were using Devon Achane. It was like a kind of extended handoff or over the middle, kind of quick snap, quick throw, because again, Tua is out. Number 2, when Tua is back, they're going to move a lot more of the coverage to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Why? Because they're both elite wide receivers. When you're rolling a lot of coverage that way, and those are your 2 big focuses, That's the reason why in the past game, again, Jonnu and Devon Achane were doing so well, is because they were people that were not getting that same level of respect and same level of coverage. So for me, Jonnu Smith is not set up as far as his age goes to be super successful. I think they're going to have to change the scheme because they weren't necessarily winning games consistently with Jonnu Smith being one of the top target earners on the team. They have to find a way to get Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle more involved and keep Achane essentially where he was at, or in the ballpark of where he was at. It's still just not somebody I want to take the shot on because, again, that was his one standout season. And for you to have a breakout season at what, again, like year 7, 8, or 9, I think it is just one of those kind of like random like blow up seasons, and I think he will regress back towards his average. And it's just not somebody I want to take with that pick because I know that in the drafts that I've been doing, I've seen him kind of get pushed up a little bit higher than he's technically going in average draft position. So it's just not somebody that I want to take at the spot that he's going in the situation that he's in. So again, for me, I will not be drafting Jonnu Smith this year. The next 2 tight ends that I ironically have on my list, you might have guessed, are, kind of back-to-back squeezed in there. It is Tyler Warren for the Colts and Colston Loveland for the Bears. The reason why I'm going to cover both of these guys, because they are going 10 and 11 as far as tight ends are concerned, is they're kind of in the same situation because they're both rookies. They're both on teams that underperformed last year. They're both on teams where I don't trust the quarterback 100%. And they're both on teams where they have a lot of target competition. So let's kind of break that down. I do not truthfully trust the Colts. I don't really trust the Bears. Yes, the Bears had Ben Johnson. That's awesome. But then it ties into the quarterback play. I'm not 100% in on Caleb Williams. I'm obviously not 100% in on Daniel Jones. Target competition-wise, they're coming in. They're rookies. It's going to put them in a spot where they're not going to be set up 100% to succeed. Why? Because there's a lot of talent ahead of them. In Tyler Warren's situation, he's going to be behind 3 wide receivers that I'm not saying that they're all more talented than him, but there's 3 good wide receivers on this team. Again, regardless of people think, Alec Pierce is no slouch, Michael Pittman Jr. is no slouch, Adonai Mitchell's no slouch, and I think Josh Downs has the potential to be a very, very good wide receiver in fantasy football. So I guess technically there's 4 for him. He has a lot of target competition around him. He has Daniel Jones, who has underperformed pretty much his entire career. And I just don't think on the depth chart that he's going to significantly stand out and be a huge, huge chunk of this offense. So again, it's hard to take him as a tight end 1 when there are people that are coming after him that I think have already proven that they have semi-broken out last year or someone who's just consistently been pretty good at the tight end spot and just is going after them, which again, I just don't really truthfully understand. I guess because the new hot thing is the new hot thing, so we always want to like find our opportunity. And Brock Bowers, Sam Laporta, they've kind of like jaded people thinking that rookie tight ends are going to be like smash picks. Go over to Colston Loveland, similar situation. Bears offense last year was horrible. Offensive line was horrible. Yes, they've upgraded, I guess technically both of those things. They brought in Ben Johnson, so it should be better. So let's just say that it is better. Let's say it's a league average offense, which is great. So let's just say that all that's fine. The target competition on this team is kind of gross. He technically is going to be behind Cole Kmet or at the same level as Cole Kmet. So again, I don't really know what I'm going to get from the tight end spot. Like, are they splitting reps? Is he the tight end 2? Are they going to move off Cole Kmet this year, next year? I don't know. I just don't like that. The other big issue that I have is you're going to have DJ Moore on this team, Roman Dunze on this team, Luther Burden on this team. And again, there's a lot of target competition. I just don't like the spot that Colston Loveland finds himself in. I'm not saying, again, that he can't be better the following season, but for me to take you as a tight end 1 means I need you to perform as a tight end 1. I'm not saying that I need you to perform like Trey McBride or Brock Bowers, like that tier, but I do need you to get me enough points to not have to look at the waiver wire. I'd rather just not draft a tight end, pick somebody up off the waiver wire going into the beginning of the season. I would rather shoot my shot on people that that are coming after them that I've seen already have semi-breakouts or have been semi-viable for me in fantasy football in the past. So those are where I'd put my assets on tight end versus 2 rookie guys that I just don't think are in the best overall situations. So hopefully this video is helpful for you. Hopefully it gets you just a little bit closer to winning your fantasy football championship in 2025. Maybe, just maybe, you smash a tight end. Maybe last year you drafted Brock Bowers and whatever god-awful late round you took him in and he smashed for you and you won your league. So maybe tight end isn't your problem. Maybe you have a hard time drafting wide receiver. Maybe you have a hard time drafting running back. If that's the case, there should be videos somewhere around here to help you with those couple of spots as well. Or if you have trouble at all of them, then you can watch those as well. Whatever you want to do. Hopefully I'll see you guys again No, hopefully you guys will see me again real soon. Until then, y'all have a blessed day.